Makes
Okay.
sense.
Yes.
Nikhil is here. Okay. Awesome. So, what is the geography of these people who will be joining this session?
So this session is open to all. Everybody can join from anywhere. Yes. There is no particular region from which the persons will be joining. So Shivam, you can start with your introduction. This meeting will be recorded, and in a few more minutes, like when the session will get over, I'll
Mhm.
drop the recording in YouTube so that everybody who is not able to join, they can watch the recording.
Awesome. Sure. So, you will be doing it, or should I start? How's it going to?
Uh, Means
You will be introducing, or I should start on my own? How you
uh,
want me to do it?
no, you can introduce yourself because I can introduce yourself, but you can introduce yourself better. That's why.
Awesome. Awesome. No worries. So, hey everyone. I'm Shivam Garg, currently Devrel at Outdefine. And so I've been into the communities from the past 3 years and headed one of the major programs in this ecosystem. And so that's all about me. I think there is nothing as such as I can mention about. But on the community side, if you want to hear about that spectrum, so far I have worked with about 12 plus startups, both mid-age and one of the angel ones or Y Combinator ones, and also with some of the MNCs. Talking more about um, my last two projects that I was handling was one was program manager at Garg Summer of Code, and then I was at IBW with like handling some of the side events over there for the community of the three plus a certain organizations over there. And now from past few months, like about 5 to 6 months, I'm working in Outdefine. So what essentially Outdefine to Outdefine, in a very simple and legit terms, you can think of Outdefine as something like a Web3 LinkedIn, where we are trying to create more decentralized system and something which is more secure and private in comparative to other social platforms we right now have. Um, Either you talk about LinkedIn, Twitter, but when it comes to the privacy, these are not something which are up to the mark. So that is something we are building on, and soon enough we will be also launching our chain. So a good thing for the developers to build on something. So yes, that's all about.
Wow, so much experience you have. So everyone, we welcome our esteemed speaker of the day, Mr. Shivam Garg. Now, Shivam, I'll be asking some of the questions from you, and by giving the answers, our audience will get to know so many things from your experiences, your learning, which you have accumulated all the way. So my first question
Sure.
is how you started or got into communities.
Mhm. So one more thing that I want to put it out. I just graduated, like um, on June 14th. I gave my last semester examination. So how I got into this is it's a very interesting story that I got introduced to, like I was like all other kind of people who are get into this BTech CS background, thinking of a software engineering or something at one of the biggest MNCs. So I was one of those people who started to get it at the front end, back end, and blah 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 blah, and n number of technologies. And there was a mark in like 1.5 years or up to my third semester. I know cloud very well. I know DevOps with a good hands-on on the same. Then Azure, I also have certain certifications in Microsoft Azure, from the Microsoft itself. So in AI and other core domains, then there is one program which is Google Cloud Facilitator, where I got to understand what community is and how it can be more than just a developer, and all in all when you interact with the people and educate them about some core technologies that you are working on. So it becomes more inclusive environment that just you you are not just cuddling out with yourself and your laptop, right? That's how I got introduction. And then I started moving to some of the open source communities, which makes this interest more intriguing over the period of time, knowing people and interacting with them. Then I got this introduction to some of this advocates programs, or what you call um, this community programs, basically CMX, AWS Community Builder, there is GDSC, GTG, MLH, GitHub Campus Expert, and there are numerous of programs that were going on at that point of time. So I've joined a couple of them with the thought that let's introduce this entire ecosystem to our tier 3 college, so that people can also start get up in this journey with us, so that it won't seems like a boring and all kind of thing, and you can create a supportive environment for yourself and for others as well to grow up. That's what my on how I started getting involved in the community. Then there was a moment when I was too engaged into the communities, but these communities run on the non-profit sites. They had the, don't have any resemblance, I would say, to how a business model works, like on the community side. So I want to check in, like whether I'm really interested into the community on the business part as well, to develop something for a particular brand or something like that. So I started applying for the community manager role at various organizations through, you know, cold outreach, through LinkedIn and all. So it isn't what my first job or internship um, in 2021, I guess, and um, post that time period, I never stopped. Basically, I have like in every each and every semester, I am doing some of the internship or the projects I've been a part of. Uh, that's how my professional.
Why did you think there must be some technical issues?
Yeah.
What is there?
Okay, so is it on my part?
Uh, uh, and Sharon, this academic section,
Okay, just give me
very
a second. Uh, are you able to hear me now?
yes, yes, you're perfectly okay. Manik's side. Maybe the issue is from my side.
Okay,
Okay, no problem. Just give me a second. I
sure. Take your time.
Now can somebody tell? Now it's
Yep,
okay.
yep.
My screen is
It's better. It's better.
okay. Oh, yes, you have a quite exploring journey. As far as I understand, you explored and leveraged the opportunities, and communities often play a great role in like building confidence, building connections, and there are many other aspects. Now let's move on to the other questions. Uh, Tell us about some of your community building.
Sorry. Can you please pardon that question?
Uh, do you want me to repeat that question or skip that question?
Repeat that question. Okay, Manik, if you don't mind, we can turn on the cam so that we can have a better communication. That sounds good.
Oh,
Awesome.
okay. Maybe after turning off the camera works well. So now hello hello Shivam, now I am audible.
Yes, you are, but there is an echo from you.
Just bad internet.
Mm,
Just
no
switch it
worries.
again. Sorry for this issue. Give me a second.
Sure, take your time.
Now I've changed network twice. Now I'm audible.
You are audible, but there is an echo from your end.
Okay, there is an echo from my side.
No, now it's better.
Okay, yes. So I was asking, like, tell us about some of your community building experiences.
So, like, can you ask something particular, like you want to know about, in that sense, like,
Like any community which you have built online or offline in your college or any kind of community which you
mhm.
have built. How you build it, what strategies and what methodologies do you apply, and that's what I'm asking.
So I think it would be better if, instead of telling how I built a community, I will tell you how what's the procedure goes like in building a community in online or offline modes. Is
Yeah,
that
that
works
would
for
be
you?
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, totally works for you.
So when we start a community, and this landscape has moved a lot, and initially what happens was you create a product, and then there is a open wide market because of the options available, and people do start joining whatever you like offer them, right? But essentially now what's the situation is there are n number of are offering the same exact thing. Now people wants to differentiate on the basis of product, and on the basis of what's the process of buying that particular product, or how what we determine as a community, right? Of those people who are loving that technology, that you know that particular product that they that particular market or a business is offering to them. So how a individual needs to, or someone who is looking as a community manager needs to look at into the community is like, first find out what are your target set of audience that you will be attracting to. Bring the 10 people, or let's say 5 15 people in your community. It can be simple WhatsApp group, or whatever you prefer, WhatsApp group, Slack, Facebook group, Discord, whatever you want to. You can go with that. First bring that those 15 set of people, try to experiment, try to engage with them, understand what their pain points are, what they are looking for, and why they are attracted towards your particular product or whatever technology you are, offering to them. What is the key thing that they are looking that they will be getting out of it? Once you have those 15 people becomes your fan, by doing all what you can do to fulfill those requirements which they have initiated to, or put it out in the conversation when you were discussing with them. Try to pull up those brackets or gaps by fulfilling those. Once you fulfill that, you just have to do is you have to repeat that process again and again with much more large batches. And once you start this coming process of repeating that things out, what you have to do is one more exercise, which is one key element that I always say the community manager should do this. Like once you have hit 100 people, or let's say 50 people in your community, start randomly texting to the previous members whom you have initiated during the onboardings, or try to set up a full-on call with the previous members who have been in your community for the last about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. What will happen with this particular exercise is you can understand is there any particular bridge gap that you can fulfill in order to make them loyal to you for a longer bandwidth of time, or is there something that they are loving so much about your community which you aren't even recognizing yet, so which you can turn it as a key point to join your community. So these kind of exercise is a good to build a good relation with the people who are into your community. So this is what I believe in, and people can follow up this particular approach to build the communities initially.
Indeed, that's a great approach, Shivam. That's a great approach. So, moving forward to the next question, can we earn through communities? Like, community is all about volunteering, but can we earn through it?
Yes, community gives a lot of options to earn. Um, Now you have to segment how you want to earn it. The way the professional way says you become community manager in turn, right? And through that way you earn certain incentives and certain kind of money through it. If you are planning to join community as a like going into the direction of community management or a Devrel at the later stage of your career, this is one thing. Second thing, there are certain grants and bounties programs which happen in community, so you can be the part of that community and earn through those bounties and grants. Third is there are certain conferences on a very large scale where you people can volunteer, and they pay you certain incentives to volunteering in those larger scales even. These are the few things of few chunks which I am aware about, which you people can follow up in order to earn certain incentives out of.
So, these are a lot of ways from which one who is interested in communities can build
Also, there
and
is one more myth with regards to community management. Yeah. So one myth I want to mention over here. There is a myth goes into the community management that is an it's a mix of like a kind of tech and non-tech. So people don't earn that much as comparative to tech or developers job, but totally a myth. If you are good at what you do, um, there is a lot of chunk of money even in the community management. So yes, yeah, just on a side note.
wow, so it's also a lucrative like career. There are many opportunities,
Yes.
but it is kind of underrated, and everybody's feels software developer and software engineers get a more pay scale than community people. But if you find the right opportunities, then you can earn equally as them. So great to hear that from you, Shivam. Now, moving forward to the next question, what are the benefits of being associated with communities?
Um, so this is something which somebody told me in initial of my career. So I'm just passing it on. So you get any opportunity, any career opportunity, or whatever you want to put on as in relevance, is 30% or 40% is of your skills, and rest after a certain point of time, it's the connections which gives which makes it possible for you to attract the better opportunities in the domain, irrespective of the domains. This is true across all the landscapes. So this is what I believe in, and so the better your connections will be, better will be attracting the opportunities. So,
Okay, so
very
basic,
simple thing, no? Let's
yes,
say
communities, yes,
you
yes.
know me, right? Yeah, you know me, I know somebody, right? And there is a certain amount of opening in a XYZ company. It is, I can simply get that from the reference of the person I know. Or you can get, if there's an opening in something, some my departments or anything, you can easily get into by my referral, or probably if we are looking for a hiring, probably we can directly jump on, hey Manik, you are doing really great into the communities. Why don't you come in and join us? So that's how things work out. Um, and yeah, there is a people favorism. You would never deny it. There can be a certain approximities to what percentage the favor will be, but there is a favor, that is true. So it depends on the bond you share with the people.
Okay, like community is great for building networks, and from networks through referrals, you can also land up in any internship or job. Yeah, that's great, Shivam. Now let's move forward to the next question. We are talking about communities. According to you, what
Yeah.
communities?
Just a
According
bunch
to
of
you, what
people having a
community is?
same interest. Yeah, just a
Okay,
bunch of people having a common interest and chilling out with each other, sharing the information that they have, or information, opinion, thoughts, whatever they bring. And each people is unique, so it's not like each and everyone will be equally contributing into that group. So yeah, so India is a best example of the communities. You see a diverse signified people, and there are certain events like Garba, where even let's say I'm talking about a religious group right now. So Garba is particularly designated for a certain people, like region wise, I'm saying. But you have seen from the last 2 years, even from like all across the pan India, people want to participate into the Garba events, and they are ready to pay the huge price tickets for the same as well. So that's how community is already inherited in the Indian land. You just have to see across, or in your surrounding, you will probably find one of the best example of communities over there.
okay. So yes, India is indeed a great example. We often came to see so many communities. We can take it as Garba, and there are also many other things as well. Uh, Great
Yeah.
perspective, Shivam. Now let's move over to the next question. How can we make our communities engaging for the participants? So the participants can engage or feel involved in the communities.
The basis is, once you crack the target audience, you know exactly this particular event or this particular community I am building for this particular audience. These are the going to be the persona or the characteristic of the people who will be joining my community. So you are just getting them into a relation of take and give and take. So they will be offering certain kind of things to you, and you will be offering certain things to them. And now the thing comes on how playful you make it, how playful you make those kind of initiatives, or let's say whatever you are planning in your community to bring the engagement. It's just the keystroke on those ends. So there is nothing as called a strategy. uh, it's very basic in the community, and let's say, mm, you've been into college, right? Or you are already in college, right? So you have seen
Yes.
there is a group of backbenchers at the end of the seats, and they all people chill about and talk random things, and like they don't even care about what they are going to talk, right? They just come, sit, and talk, right? So community is just one such place where those benchers or the people whom you are building it for coming, and you just have to put things which properly inclined with their interest, and the things will flow out. The strategy comes only on the front of understanding what is that one thing which aligns perfectly with their interest and how to put it out or how to propose it out. As simple as that.
Wow, you are talking great, Shivam. I can totally relate with it. I have also a bunch of backbenchers in my class, and I can totally relate with it. So thanks for giving out this amazing example. Uh, Now let's move forward to the next question. How communities helped you in your career? Any references that you would like us to share?
So I've been into the communities from the past 3 years. Um, the first job I got is from one of the reference where I was a part of one community, and that particular admin of that particular group, referred me. Hey Shivam, I'm trying to do this and this, and there is one of my friend who is running a startup right now, and he is looking for the community managers, and I believe you will be the good person because you have already contributed in our community for a good period of time. So through that, I got that first opportunity. Then I got into this AWS Community Builder program, which is, you can say, 80% of professional, 20% of college students or undergrads or grads are there, but it's mostly a professional program. So over there, I made some of the connections which helped me to get next job in one of the renowned startups. So initially, um, I did some Indian jobs, like Indian market jobs, but the moment I got this first international opportunity to be a Devrel over there, then I got a new door open for me for hundreds of opportunities from each of these connections. I leverage out whenever I'm pushing it to next one, and so that's how this games goes on. And when you come as a community manager, right, you have to do certain programs, certain things into the community to bring out the collaboration for certain initiatives. And when you are already contributing into the community to a certain level, so most of the people who are organizing stuffs and doing certain xyz stuffs in their respective companies or in their respective regions or their colleges. So it's very easy for you to just simply connect with them, and because you already share a certain kind of bond with them, you don't even have to go into a professional terms to you know collaborate on something. So it's very those process becomes very smooth over the period of time. The more people you will be essentially understanding that these people will be becoming a very helpful asset, not asset, but the individuals who can really help you to bring out the collaboration partnerships, some of the mega events or initiatives in the community through their help. So that's how it's not just help you in getting your first job or getting your first intern. These people will be helping you throughout the process of the entire thing.
Wow, wow, Shivam. Your journey inspires me a lot, really, really. Uh, yes, great. Now let's move to the next question. We would love to hear your story that how you landed up as Outdefine Devrel.
So, kind of interesting story, I guess. Um, I was working somewhere else, and then one day I got this. So this is something which is in me. Whatever you want to say, call it. But I'm bitter kind of thing, bitter kind of person who wants to keep multiple things at a certain time. So there was an entire era when I was doing about 3 to 4 things at a one particular time. So no matter at how much fulfilled position or thing I am, I always search for other better opportunity. That's how human evolution is like. You can never satisfied on what you have already achieved. So you always look for the greater and greater and greater. So I started looking. I keep on daily scrolling the LinkedIn section for the jobs and all. What can be the best, company to get partnership with, or to at least make people friends with. So I was start looking for something like that, and I eventually saw that there is a Web3 based company who is looking for a community manager, and in it, so that was a good opportunity for me because of the dynamics of the international companies I work with. It adds a value to me that, or there is a certain biasness in my behavior as well with the international companies. And it's really great and comparative to Indian companies. Most of the Indian companies, not most of the, but yeah, I have seen a pretty good ones. Uh, so that's how I gave the interview. Like I applied for that job, and then I cold outreach to the HR who was hiring there. And when we had a conversation, so I already shared my resume with him on the chat itself. Hey, why don't you look out my resume over here? And that's how the entire conversation builds up during the September month of 2023. And then I completed my first interview. He like the entire schedule is planned, but due to some reason, this particular post got freeze. Then I met the founders in Bangalore during an event. We proposed them, we told them the situations and all. So he said, "Why not? Why don't you join us now?" So that's how we got onboarded, and I got onboarded along with me. One of my friend also joined it on the post of community manager. So that was a very fun and just interesting story that there was an entire hope lost that you are not going to get into this particular company, and suddenly we got the news. Okay, yeah, that particular founder is coming into this particular conference, and why don't you just meet and propose your idea how you can contribute into their ecosystem, and then eventually that discussion will be landing you to a particular full-time job. So that's how it goes like.
Wow, quite an interesting story, Shivam. That's great. So let's move to the next question. Uh,
Mhm.
if someone is a beginner and don't know much about the communities and community culture, then how can one get involved in it?
Simple. Start joining your local communities which are active in your region, or let's say in India, to get a certain amount of experience on, because what happens in most of the majority of the Indians, they are very introverted in terms of reaching out to the people or to initiating a conversation with the random people. They don't know, or like majority in the majority cases, they don't know what to strike, when to strike, and what to talk about. So, to get that hesitation out, I would recommend you to do this exercise of reaching out to the multiple peoples in the Indian communities, and just to have a some conversation on the LinkedIn or any particular social platform, in whichever way they are comfortable to take it forward. And once you start doing it, you will be breaking that hesitation out. Okay, now once you break that hesitation, try to get into the global programs. There are certain events which happen, there are certain initiatives which happen across the globes in the community management, not just in the community management but on the also tech side, to keep it balanced. Um and so once you go out, get into those programs, try to again do the same exercise, reach out to your co-people who are the part of the particular program, try to get indulged with the companies, and so on and so forth. Once you get into that, you understand, okay, this is the basic parameters or basic things that needs to be done into the community, which is strengthen your skill A, of reaching out to the people, putting up your conversation or putting up your statements, whatever you want to put, basically asking for a favor from them. and this improve by doing it multiple times. This improves your returns, like kind of the conversion rates got improved. Like when if you are reaching to 10 people, probably after this particular exercise, it will say yes to your proposal in whichever way. You get that intuitive techniques to make people convince people. Once you are done with it, then I would suggest you people to start getting indulged into some of the business activities, which revolves around community. Because what we do in non-profit communities or student-based communities or the programs is not something which we like completely corporate into the business segment. It's a bit different process for each and everything. So try to get indulged into it by applying for internships, job, or any kind of trainee or anything like that. Once you get it, start getting an exposure into the startups, a great way to be the community manager in, instead of, because there you will learn a lot, not just management but also in the side departments like let's say product, tech, marketing. So these three segments will be covered. So essentially, if you build interest into the product or tech, you can also go for this product management, program management kind of roles, or even for the Devrels and developer advocacy kind of roles. So that's how you can initiate your journey, and will end up with a good kind of reputation and good kind of brand, um, and a good kind of job or internship or a certain kind of opportunity where you can incentivize it.
Oh, wow, great thoughts, Shivam. I hope that everyone who listens to this will greatly benefit to it. So now let's move forward. How
Yeah.
to approach foreign-based companies to get the role of community or program manager? Any strategies that you would like to tell us?
Sorry, Manik, I lost you in between.
No problem. I'll
Sorry,
repeat. Yes.
Mhm.
How to
Thank you.
approach foreign-based companies to get the role of community or program manager? Any strategies that you would like to tell us?
I would say so. Uh, Let me make one thing very clear over here. Initially, there are less opportunities into the community management in the initial years in the international market, because mostly people prefer somebody who can come on site and do the things. But it's very different in the Web3 market. But essentially, I'm just talking about community as a whole, community management opportunities as a whole. um, so instead of moving to the international market, first try to build your experience through volunteering to the events, to take your own initiatives, uh, and to work with some of the startups in India ecosystem. Once you have these things in your resume, then what you have to do is you have to start reaching to a particular company. Let's say I've seen an opening from CMX, right? Now, what I will be doing, I will be applying through LinkedIn. Then I will be reaching out to the designated person who will be hiring for that role. And not just that, I will try to find out, is there somebody in my connections who is already connected with CMX, or is there any particular person who can provide me a certain referrals or certain kind of introduction in the CMX, or in front of the HR who is recruiting for this role, to improvise my chances. And also do message do send a message to the recruiter, and also include the why you are going to be fruitful for the organization into a very bullet and concise point, and also add on your resume uh, drive link over there. So that what happens now, nobody has a time to go through with the 100 applications which are coming from LinkedIn, but they have a certain possibilities to open your resume if it's in their chat, because it hardly takes a 1 or 2 minute of intersection of that particular time. So that would improvise your chances. And all of my interns, I have never applied to any particular platform. No, I do apply for the platforms, but I never get something out of it. I majorly my intern full time I got from LinkedIn by applying the same approach. Create a one pager on how you can contribute into their ecosystem, and when you are messaging them or DMing them why you can be the best fit, do propose that documentation that these are the points how I can be fruitful for your organization, and this is what I can bring to the table. So this will essentially improve your chance, because that's do the ease for them by helping them to understand, okay, what we are going to got get out of it, like having multiple interviews. He or she is already giving us a fair documentation which tells about those key bullet points. So that's good thing to do, a kind of good exercise.
Wow, that's amazing strategy, Shivam. Even I'll be doing this same strategy in some of like in my future days, and I'll definitely tell you how it turns out to be.
Sure.
And I have the confidence that it turns out to be very positive because it's a tested method by you. So thank you so much for sharing. Uh,
Sure.
now let's move forward to the next question. Suppose we want to build a community,
Mhm.
so how we can find or get the right persons to be our team member? Often it is
Uh,
difficult to find the perfect team member. So how we can find one?
it's a difficult question as well. Um, so there is no parameters on which you can hire up a, like have a team member join your team, right? Who will 100% will essentially align with what you have thought about your community or whatever projects you are building on, right? So the primer basis that I always look for is, sometimes it's good to judge based on what past experience they are bringing in, and how was their behavior, working with the past organization. Is there any particular social media that I can go through to understand their behavior patterns? So I do check out their LinkedIn or Twitter to understand that, uh, how they do react, or how do they reply to the community, or to normal as well, and to understand a bit also about what they think in terms of the philosophy of what I am trying to build on, whether there is an alignment of it into it. These are some of the basic parameters. Like one is philosophy, whether they are matching with your interest or not. Second is about the skills they have, required skills they have or not. Otherwise, it becomes very vague sometimes. People do spill out a number of things, but they are not able to put it when the time comes. Third thing is about whether that particular person is behaviorally good or not. So these are some of the judgments you can make to understand uh, whom to get in the team on. But, like, yeah, these are some of the standards which are being following into the community.
Sure, this will greatly help me as well as others who are trying to build their community from scratch. Thank you so much, Shivam, for sharing this amazing strategy. Now we have, yes, net. Now let's move forward to the next question. Can you name any five communities that you feel would be very helpful and beneficial to be a part of for the student who comes from a tech background?
For me, AWS did wonders. AWS Community Builder Program, AWS Community Builder Program is there. They did wonder. Then I would suggest to be the part of GitHub community, and then there are certain communities in relevance to the tech you want to get in. So in Web3 you get DAOs, to be the part of. There are certain independent communities which run really amazing, so you can be the part of that as well.
Uh, wow. Thank you so much for sharing all these. And Khushi and Nikhil will have a dedicated Q&A session at 10 p.m. We are left with quite a few questions. After then, you can take your questions. Okay. Uh, so now let's move forward to the next question. So Shivam, you have a quite diverse and a lot of experience in the field of communities. That shape of communities in India changed a lot in the past few years. So can you tell us how it all started and how it's growing and where it is heading? Uh,
So
I just, yes, want to know about
how
your
how
insights.
it started is initially people. Okay, so how it happens was like initially you have a product and you got consumer, so you just need a good product so that people will love it and they start utilizing it. What will happen when this entire internet broke? This entire internet comes very friendly to the good amount of users in 2018. um, People started knowing hundreds of options which can provide them the same product with a little to no difference. Now the war started, how we can return, make the consumer or user return to our business or to the product, because they are going to fill it. If I have 100 products, why don't I try it, each product every time and then find out the best one. But it is not simple as that it may sound. That 100 people, like, people will try and experiment with the 100 ones. So what they do is they start getting into the reviews. How the process look like is, whenever we see a product or whenever we see a particular thing, we try to get into the reviews, or star ratings or comment, or what public are talking about that particular thing on the socials. And then based on that particular perception, we build our perception and then try to buy it and then consume it, and then we contribute to that society by giving rating, comment, and putting it up on social. So this is what essentially the community was. And when it was introduced, this is the purpose of the community, to resolve what is, why don't you make people fan of your product or your business ecosystem, so that they will, don't be a mere user of you, but mere user of a single product, but an entire community. Like, they will be getting resources, will be getting people, a kind of family, second family they will be getting. So the more bond they will share, the more closer they will be, you know um, they will be lasting for a good period of time. So that was the thought process behind the community. And then all the techs come in and then started leveraging it in India ecosystem, especially um, in the post 2018. Priorly it was there, but not as much vibrant as you see now. Then we got these kind of clubs and programs introduced in India. Um, and now the situation is, we got excess of a amount of communities because people want to try and be the part of n number of things, because of this FOMO, um, of not of missing out something great, or something which their fellow mate is doing, or somebody sitting next to their seat is doing, and they are not even aware about that. So because of that FOMO, they are trying to get in as many community as they can. um, it's just become a race of getting in more communities than the person who is our competitor, or who is in the competition, to get more and more opportunities from them. But I feel the essence got lost in this entire race, because you are not creating bond with anyone, which was a primary reason these communities are going to build. You know, or the one of the major pillar of this entire community model is to build the connections, build the bonds with the people. Um, Later on, it comes in the leveraging model of how you leverage it, with, in terms of opportunities, in terms of n number of things, where it will be heading. So community is going to be get into the limelights, because now everything is shifting to the community based model from a big $1 million businesses to each and everything. Now they are just focusing on to build the community first and then product. If you crack the community, if you have the certain people who are going to be a cheerleader for you, then you can build any simpler product, and that's also going to be boom out. So that's what I believe in. Now you have also seen, like, there are n number of events, n number of conference, n number of initiatives are coming, and each company who is coming to this new market, they are launching their community first, and later on they are putting up each and everything.
Uh, Thank you, Shivam. It's good to hear about the community's history and its future from you. Okay, so let's move forward to the our last second question of this session. Uh, because if I ask so many questions that probably everyone will get bored. So only two questions are left. And the question is, any resources on community building that you have accumulated throughout your journey, which you think would be very helpful to us? Can you share with any kind of resources with us on
See,
community building?
CMX has its resource channel. From there, you can get the documentaries, or um, the reports, basically, of the successful programs, successful initiatives, and probably you can Google them as well. You will get a certain amount of directories which involves, um, the successful programs reports or the closer reports, which you can go through with and understand how to curate certain amount of programs and what to strategize, what not to strategize. um, and the best way, I would say now, okay, connect with more people who are into this particular role, if you are looking forward to it, and try to understand how they think about community, what they've been doing in the ecosystem. Try to get a closer look out by asking the right questions with them, so that you can get a first hand insight on how that person thinks out. And if you understood that, you are going to crack out the system.
Okay, nice resources, Shivam. These are great resources that you have shared. It will be very helpful to our audience. And now, the last question of the day. So, brace yourself, everybody. You had conducted a month-long global open source cohort for Next Gen community. So, can you tell us how did you approached and onboarded so many big names in the tech industry?
As I mentioned, be the part of so many communities that you already share a certain amount of bond with each individual, and then it's all going to be a cup of cake for you.
Oh, great. So, thank you so much, Shivam, for answering all our questions and coming to our very first session of this community. It's been an honor to have you here. So, everyone, if you have any kind of questions, you can raise your hands and I'll let you allow to come on stage where you can ask your questions from Shivam. Anybody, if you have any kind of questions, raise your hand. Kushi, you can switch on your mic and ask the question.
Yeah. Hello, Manik, or hello, Shivam.
Hi,
Hello,
Kushi.
Kushi. Welcome.
Okay, धन्यवाद. So, uh, okay, let's say हम community build कर रहे हैं, maybe initially or right now, अगर हम कोई community ला रहे हैं, maybe it is a bigger one or just a local one. So इस community में हम लोगों को कैसे अपने members बनाएं? Like जैसे आई एम फ्रॉम अ टायर 3 कॉलेज और my classmates are not that much passionate. Maybe the seniors are not that much passionate also. Like they don't know what is the community or what are these things happening. So how can I choose people? Like I'm not doing that much interactions also. So how can I choose the people who are worthy for the community?
So mostly people, what they don't know, they want to go against the wave, you know. I always say this. Okay, never try to build something where people are not interested in. So simple example. Let me take this. Um, if next day I want, like let's say I want to build an airport, right? And because this is going to be leverage out for the city, for the region, and for the people, they can communicate and stuff like that. There are multiple businesses which are going to be open nearby to facilitate that airport. The taxi system or the transport system will get an up edge on that. But the individuals who are or the locals who are living there, they don't want that airport. There is no need of the airport over there. uh, so there is no point of building an airport over there, right? Right.
Like,
So that's how community goes. Like, first check out whether people are actually interested into the, you know, into the into the thing prospect of what you are trying to deliver them through a platform. If the alignments match, only then community happen. Otherwise, it's just a group where you can onboard a number of people just for a short period of time. Then it's not a community. You, what you have to do is to exercise making people interested in that technology. uh, Try to hold us introductory session on how it can benefit them in career and you know in their future prospects. If they don't align, don't build it for them, build it for somebody else, where people will be as equally interested as you are to have that community. And don't complex the idea of community, keep it simple. You probably when you were in a schools, you have this group of 3 to 4 friends, right? It's not certain agreement, or it's not something you first created group and then these individuals come into it. You first you met with those people, and then that's how this relationships evolve and become into a group, right?
mhm. Hmm.
So that's how the community works. You bring people, certain people who are equally aligned with what you are trying to do, or what you are trying to put in, and then they get evolve over a period of time and become a community.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Uh, Anyone, if you have any kind of questions, you can raise your hand. Any kind of relevant questions, or if you are not comfortable in speaking, you can also ask your questions in the chat section. Or if you don't have any questions, just mention in the chat section that you don't have any kind of questions. So we got to know. Hey everyone, if you don't have any kind of questions, kindly mention in the chat section. Done. Thank you, Manik, Shivam. Thank you so much, Kushi. Osho, all doubts are clear. Thank you so much, Osho, for coming and attending our first session. So, it seems like no one has any further questions, Shivam. Everyone's questions have been answered in all the questions which I have asked. Thank you so much for coming tonight and enlightening us with your valuable and diverse experience. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Manik, for calling me and for having me on this stage. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you.
Thank you everyone for joining this session. It's been a good time. Thank you. Bye bye.
And thank you so much for joining the session. Kindly don't leave the meeting. I have to say something to you. post this meeting, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'll be sending you a private Telegram channel link because you have joined this meeting. Uh, so you can join that Telegram channel. With time, as many people join this meeting, I'll be adding those in that particular Telegram channel where we will interact with each other and share resources all relevant to community building. It will be a great resource for us. And thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Yeah, sure, Kushi. Uh, we have, okay, after this meet, I'll talk to you. And thank you so much for everyone. Good night. Bye bye. Have a great night. Signing off.